She's a psychopath, I'm terrified of what she might do. I acknowledge it was a moment of weakness when that thought crossed my mind, but her way of acting and behaving was driving me crazy. Sometimes I thought it was manipulation, other times I thought she was doing the right thing. The situation was extremely uncomfortable, I was fed up and completely losing my mind. This automatically led me to recall that first date, why I agreed to see her that time, questioning everything, being such a selective, correct, cautious, and audacious person in other matters. How could I fall into this toxic relationship? If only I had made the right decision. Stay until the end to find out the outcome of this story, and no, it's not what you think. And so, my days in the relationship passed, without agreeing on activities, each focused on their own things. We both had our activities. I admit I always maintain focus on what I do and don't like to be disturbed, but she was twice as much in that aspect, 200%. Every morning, we used to have breakfast in silence, absorbed in our own thoughts. I would review my notes and prepare my classes, while she meditated and performed her spiritual rituals. We didn't bother each other, but the distance between us was palpable. There were no open arguments, but there was also no real connection. It was as if we lived in parallel worlds, coexisting without really meeting. It was during one of those days when a close friend asked me if I had noticed anything peculiar about her. At first, I ignored it, but then I started noticing small details, her ability to anticipate my thoughts, her intuition about things I hadn't shared with anyone. I began to wonder if there was something more at play. I remember the exact conversation. We were in a cafe, and my friend, someone I had always considered practical and skeptical, looked at me seriously and said, "Have you noticed anything different about her? Like she knows things she shouldn't?" That question resonated in my mind for days. I started observing her more closely, noticing how she seemed to know exactly when I was worried or happy, even before I knew it myself. There was something deeply intuitive about her that I couldn't explain. I sought advice in ancient texts and spiritual forums, trying to find answers. It was then that I met Anna, a spiritual therapist who explained to me about the chosen ones and how their gifts can affect relationships. She provided me with books and resources to better understand the situation. Anna was a wise and calm woman, with a comforting presence. In our first session, she patiently listened as I described my experiences. Then, with a knowing smile, she said, "Your partner might be one of the chosen ones. People with special gifts who often don't fully understand their own power. This can create conflicts in their relationships." I felt relieved and confused at the same time. Chosen ones. Special gifts. Anna recommended several books and articles, and invited me to join a support group for people in relationships with the chosen ones. For the first time, I felt I wasn't alone in my confusion. But then I also wondered, why not just tell me? Why stay so silent despite being a very introverted person? Was she afraid I would leave, or maybe if she told me, the relationship would worsen even more? I decided to confront my partner about what I was learning. The conversation wasn't easy, but as we talked, her responses confirmed my suspicions. I accepted that our relationship wasn't like any other, and that I needed a new perspective to handle it. The night I decided to talk to her was one of the most tense of my life. We sat on the couch, and after a few moments of silence, I said, "I've been learning about the chosen ones. I think you might be one of them." Her eyes filled with surprise and fear. She confessed that she had had visions since childhood, and had always felt a special connection with the universe. This revelation left me stunned. I felt a mix of relief and fear. At least now I understood why our lives seemed so out of sync. You won't believe what happened next, because from then on, the real challenges began. Trying to understand her abilities and adapt to her needs while managing my own insecurities wasn't easy. There were times when I felt everything was against me, that we would never fully understand each other. The trials began almost immediately. She had episodes where she seemed to be in another world, disconnected from reality. I tried to be patient, but frustration grew. I didn't understand why she couldn't simply turn off her gifts. There were nights when I would wake up to find her in a trance, murmuring about things I didn't understand. My own insecurity increased, and I started questioning my ability to handle the relationship. I spoke with Anna and others in the support group, but nothing seemed to ease my anxiety. I decided to follow the advice of Anna and other spiritual mentors. I implemented meditation techniques and open communication, seeking to find a balance. We started attending spiritual retreats together, where I could see how other couples handled similar situations. We began attending spiritual retreats in quiet, secluded places. At these retreats, I met other couples facing similar issues. There were workshops on how to communicate with a partner who has special gifts and how to find inner peace. I learned to meditate, to be present in the moment, and to accept that I wouldn't always have all the answers. These retreats gave us a chance to reconnect and understand each other better. Through couple exercises, we began to find a new rhythm in our relationship. The turning point came when I discovered there was something she hadn't told me. A vision she had about our future together, something she was terrified to share for fear of being judged. It was a moment of deep distrust and pain, almost the end of our relationship. One night, during one of our meditation sessions, she broke down and told me about a terrifying vision she had had. In her vision, our relationship was destined to fail because of my inability to fully accept her nature. This revelation hit me hard. I felt a mix of anger and despair. Why hadn't she told me before? Distrust took hold of me. For days, we barely spoke. The tension was palpable, and for the first time, I considered the possibility that our relationship might actually end. After much reflection and sincere conversations, we managed to overcome that obstacle. I learned to accept her gifts and see them as a blessing rather than a burden. She, in turn, began to trust me more, sharing her visions and feelings without fear. Finally, after days of reflection, I decided I couldn't give up without a fight. I approached her with an open heart, ready to listen. We had long conversations, some filled with tears, others with laughter and relief. I understood that her visions were part of who she was, and that I had to accept them if I wanted to be with her. We started sharing more of our inner lives, and slowly, trust was rebuilt. She taught me how to interpret her visions, and I showed her how I could support her better. Our relationship not only survived, but strengthened. We started working together on spiritual projects, helping others understand and accept their own experiences. We discovered a new shared purpose that brought us closer than ever. Over time, our relationship became a source of inspiration for others. We created a blog and a YouTube channel where we shared our experiences and offered advice to other couples. We held workshops and seminars, helping others navigate the challenges of being in a relationship with a chosen one. Our work not only brought us closer, but also gave us a greater purpose. We felt we were making a difference in the lives of others. We returned to our daily lives, but with a new understanding and mutual respect. The trials and challenges had transformed us, and we were ready to face anything together. Returning to our daily routine was a challenge, but this time we were better equipped. We had developed communication techniques and strategies to handle difficult moments. Every day, we dedicated time to meditating together, ensuring we maintained our spiritual connection. The small frictions that once separated us were now opportunities to learn and grow together. Our daily life was filled with small rituals that strengthened our relationship. Our new life was filled with purpose and connection. We had learned to navigate our differences and use our strengths to build a solid and loving relationship. Our home became a sanctuary of peace and love. We organized spiritual gatherings at home, inviting friends and other seekers to join us. Every day, we were grateful for the blessings and challenges that had brought us to this point. Our relationship, once shaky, had transformed into an unbreakable alliance. We had found a new way of living, one that honored our gifts and allowed us to grow together. Through our experience, we understood that being a chosen one is not a bad thing, but a gift that can enrich life and relationships if managed with love and understanding. If I had seen this next video where the celestial birthmark on her neck is explained, I would have saved myself from this initial situation. If you're in a relationship with someone who might have special abilities, watch this video and find out if they have a special birthmark, and always remember to communicate openly and sincerely. The key is acceptance and mutual support. Blessings to all.